ladies, welcome back to the channel. Today I come to you with a video on contouring. So this video has been highly requested. I know amongst my friends there is some controversy about exactly what contouring is. So today I thought I would come on here and show you guys everything that I have learned about contouring. And as with every video like this one, I feel like I have to put out the disclaimer, I am not a makeup artist. All of this is just things that I have gathered from watching a lot of YouTube videos and figuring out what works right for me. So especially when it comes to something like contouring, you have to kind of play with it and see what works best on your face, because you might have different features that you want to play up or hide versus me, right? We have different features, so you might want to do those things in different ways. So with that being said, I can show you at least some simple rules, the basics of contouring, and then you can see how those apply to you as you play around with these things on your own. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to put my foundation and eyes on, and then I will come back and show you all the powders and contouring and highlighting that I do on top of my foundation. So I did want to come on here first this way to show you just blank canvas, no makeup, and what that looks like. And you can see I do have a little bit of a cheekbone, right? That's kind of visible even without makeup. And I mentioned that because that's usually the thing that women are trying to attain, right? Is a cheekbone, a cut cheekbone with contouring. So I have a little bit of one, and we'll see what we can do to make that even better after contouring. Okay, y'all, so you can see that I now have my face on. I have just put on foundation, brows, eyes, and lips, and left the rest of my face blank. So no blush, no highlight, no contour. What I wanted to do was talk to you guys about exactly what contouring and highlighting is before I do those things, so that you can know why I'm placing certain colors where when we get to that portion. So the first question I thought we would ask and discuss is, what is contouring? Okay. Contouring is shaping the face. You are trying to emphasize certain areas of your face through adding shadow and light, and that's going to create dimension. So keep in mind that when you put on your foundation, what you are essentially doing is creating a blank canvas. There is no real dimension to your face. Of course, you have your nose and your eyes that create, 3D, right? But in your actual skin, there is a lack of dimension. So we're trying to put that back into the skin so that you don't look like plastic, right? That's the point of contouring and highlighting. The other thing that we should keep in mind is that contouring is a method that was developed and used primarily by drag queens for a very long time. And it's just recently kind of caught on in common pop makeup culture. So knowing that it comes from drag queens, we then have to keep in mind that what a drag queen is trying to accomplish when he or she is putting on makeup is very different from what the average woman is trying to accomplish when she's putting on makeup every day. So, of course, a drag queen is going to try to make a masculine face look more feminine by putting contour and light in certain areas. And those are going to be a little bit different from what the everyday woman is trying to do and where she might want to put her contour. And on that note, contouring for each face is very different. There are some things that we can get away with in makeup, kind of doing the same for everybody. When it comes to contouring, you really have to pay attention to the different shapes of your face. So just because I'm doing something one way does not mean that you should necessarily do it the same exact way. So I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks that I've learned from watching a lot of YouTube videos, not from being a professional makeup artist. So I don't necessarily know what is right for your face versus mine when it comes to talking about some of these things that I've learned for myself. So keep that in mind as we go throughout the rest of this video. Okay, so now you might be asking, well, what do I use to contour? There's all these contour kits out there that, because it's become so popular, these companies have come out with. So which one do I pick? What do I need? What's necessary? What's not necessary? Okay, let me show you what I use to contour. This is all you need to contour, okay? A cool toned brown powder and then a brightening yellowish banana powder. That's all you need, okay? So now you might have the question upon seeing this brown color, well, I know about bronzer. How is bronzer different than this contour powder? Let me show you. Okay, so I have the Ulta Baked Bronzer in Radiance right here, and I have my contour powder right next to it. Can you see the difference? This Ulta Radiance bronzer, Ulta Baked Bronzer, okay, this bronzer is a lot warmer in tone than the contour powder. And keep that in mind. So when you say that you're using a bronzer, right, you are trying to warm up the face. That is the usage of bronzer. That is what it's for. When you are using contour, you are trying to create a shadow. So remember that a shadow is the lack of light, right, is a lack of warmth, and it is by its nature cool toned. So you're gonna want a cool toned contour color versus a warm bronzer. You can kind of do some of the same things that you do with each of these powders with both of them, but they're gonna accomplish it in slightly different ways just because of the color payoff that each one gives. So keep that in mind. A contour powder is not technically a bronzer, okay? So that's the difference there. Then, I think I already mentioned this top one is the highlight powder. This yellow color is gonna brighten the skin. At least this is the color that I choose to use, okay? It might have to be a more pink tone if you have pinker undertones. I am yellow undertone, so this works well for me. Okay, so there's that. Then now how do I put these things on my face? How do I get this powder from the pan to my face? Well, I use two brushes primarily for contour. They are both from e.l.f. The first is this e.l.f. Ultimate Kabuki brush. It looks like this. It's kind of chunky and fat, but I like to use this to put the edge of it into my contour. Okay, I'm not gonna do it right now, but I put the edge of this into my contour and then I can position it on my face wherever I want that contour to go, okay? And it fits nicely into my cheekbone. Okay, my phone stopped filming for a second. So this is my second try and you notice I let my hair down just to do something different. So anyway, I was right in the middle of telling you which brushes I use for contouring and highlighting. And I think I had just said that I like to use this one. This one lays down right in my cheekbone and I can like lay down my contour powder around the perimeter of my face using this brush. However, if your face is not as big as mine is, you can also use something like this, which is the e.l.f. contour brush. You can see it's much slimmer, obviously, and this fits also right here in the contour of your cheekbone, and you can also kind of use it around the perimeter of your face. I like this one though, even if I do use this, if I use this one first, I like to go back with this one because this helps to diffuse the contour a little bit better. You can see it's not as dense as this one. So this one's gonna kind of keep powder in the same place. Basically, it's a little bit harder to blend, whereas this big fluffy one is a lot easier to blend things out with. So that's that. And then for my highlighter, I like to use this brush, okay? So for highlighting, I do a couple of different steps. I'm gonna do my highlighter first of all, and I'm going to put down a concealer, a brightening concealer first thing. So under my contour, under my powder contour, whoa. Let's see if we can get this. Okay, so under my powder contour, I do not put any liquid products, but okay, my phone just does not want to film today, so I'm using my husband's. This is getting outrageous. I would have given up if I didn't want to get this video done so badly. So I had just put my highlight, my liquid highlight, my highlighting concealer, brightening concealer under this eye, and I was just pressing it in. Let's see if we can get rid of some of those dots now. Okay, so this side is now brighter. Okay, now I'm gonna do the same thing to this side, hoping that this stuff hasn't dried. Okay, and it can kind of come down to the cheekbone, that's fine. You're gonna be putting blush over that area anyway. Sorry, now I just feel like I have to go fast. So if I'm like too quick, I apologize. So, okay. So now I've put my brightening concealer underneath both of my eyes. I will also put just a dab on my chin and then a couple dabs across my forehead. You want to brighten the high points of your face, okay? So chin is a high point. Bring a little of that on the nose and then up here to the forehead. Should finish that sentence, huh? Okay, so already I'm looking a little bit more dimensional. Okay, so that's the liquid. Now for my powder, to set that, I'm going to use this little palette that I picked up before. I'm gonna dip into this, and I'm gonna be putting this under the same places that I had just put the powder. You can still see some dots because I had to stop and they kind of dried while I was switching phones with him, so. Okay, so that is my matte liquid highlighter. Then on top of that, I'm going to be placing a shimmery highlight, but I wait to do that as the very last thing, so we will get to that last. So now I'm going to be placing my contour colors, okay? And contour is going to be generally around the edge of the face, the perimeter of the face, carving out my cheekbones, and you can put it down your nose if you want. So I will be doing all of that to show you how to do it. So I'm going to be picking up my e.l.f. Kabuki brush, dipping that into the side, knocking some of the excess off there, and then I'm going to be placing this right there on my cheekbone. Ooh, that was a lot. And I'm going to do it to the other side. Okay. And then what I do is, here, now that I have some extra on there, I'll place that up there, around. Okay. And then I flip to the other side that didn't have any product on it, and I blend. Blend around the forehead, and I'm just blending around the perimeter of the face. Blending till I get over here. And you're gonna be blending up, just blend it up rather than down. It's gotta go somewhere. So, here we go. Okay, so there's my cheekbones and forehead. Maybe not completely done yet. Okay, and then I'm gonna take basically an eyeshadow brush. Let's see. I think I'll take this one. Okay, it's just from Crown Brushes. I'm gonna dip that in very lightly. And to contour your nose means that you're trying to make your nose look thinner, basically. So go down there. And blend it out. Ooh. And down here.
Much, huh? If there ever is too much, you can go back with your powder brush and blend it out. Okay, there is that.
Let's see, did I miss anything? So I did nose, perimeter of face, cheekbones. So it's more clear. I should show you this side. And then highlight. I've done the high points of my face with my liquid concealer, my liquid highlight. And then I'm also going to go back and do with the shimmery highlight. So a lot of people like to use a fan brush for this. I don't, because I like to use this palette and the pans are so small that a fan brush would just be too big. So I like to dip in very lightly, and then just the prime place is to put highlight, shimmery highlight on your cheekbones. So that's what I'm gonna do first. And you can see it just gives the skin a glow. That's what you're looking for. Okay, so there's that. So you've done contour beneath the cheekbone, highlight on top of the cheekbone, and then you're gonna put blush kind of right in between the two. So you're gonna look like Neapolitan ice cream. Well blended Neapolitan ice cream. So then I'm gonna do it on the other side. Now, I should mention that highlight, putting any powder on top of texture on your face, like acne, zits, whatever you might have going on, will only make that texture more apparent. It will emphasize it. So if you have texture on your cheeks, you might not want to put more powder on top of them and just leave this step off, at least in that area. So, but I like to put plenty on. I'm gonna do it there, and then I'm gonna do the same places that I put the liquid concealer, the liquid highlighter, except for under my eyes. Okay. Then I'm gonna put a little bit on my brush and just swipe down on my Cupid's bow. Just to give my lips the look of a little bit more volume. Okay, and then to add just some color to my cheeks, I need some blush. So I'm gonna put some blush. Let's see. I think I'm going to use Makeup Geek. I got 4 Makeup Geek blushes. They were having like a Christmas bundle sale thing. So I got these 4, and I really like to layer these 3. Actually, I think it's Smitten. I can never remember what they're called. I'll put them down in the description bar below, okay? But I like to layer these 3. I haven't been brave enough to try this one. I think it's a little bit too light for me. But anyway, so I'm gonna do some blush. Like I said, I'm putting my blush right between my highlight and my contour. And you can apply these in a different order. If you want to do contour, blush, highlight, whatever, a different pattern might work better for you. I just find that this works okay for me, so this is the way I'm gonna do it. I might put a little bit more contour back on, or highlight back on top though, just to make it pop a little bit more. And then again, also, if you were scared that you had put too much contour on, a contour powder on, what you would do is pick up a translucent powder like this one, which I really love, this Rimmel Stay Matte stuff. So I would have put my contour powder on, said, oh my gosh, it's too much. Grab this, grab my powder brush, picked up some translucent powder, and just run this all over the whole face. That will really help to blend some of the contour out and make it not look so harsh. It will also set the rest of your foundation. So if that's something you need to do anyway, a good time to do that is after you've placed your contour. So I know that was a lot of information, guys. I think I've given you everything that I wrote down to tell you. So that is how I do my contour and highlight. I hope you guys learned a lot. I'm so glad I'm finally done filming this video, because this was like the saga from, I don't even know. It was just terrible. But I really wanted to do this. I really wanted to share it with you guys. So let me know if I did miss anything in all the hubbub of changing phones and cameras and things cutting off on me. Maybe I forgot something. So let me know down in the comments below, and I will be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. Until next time then, y'all, have a great one, and I'll see you later.